You know that I'm Tony Gonzalez from Made in Metal.
Yeah.
You are in a very professional place. The CD of Metalite, the microphone.
Yeah, of course. It's my own studio here, so it's okay.
I read that the band received the Culture Prize 2019 in the municipality of Upland Borough, where most of the band members live. But to me, this is an extraordinary news because in Spain, nobody gives a prize, a culture prize, to a rock band or a metal band.
Actually, it was the first time the people who decides all things here in the municipality of Uplands Brew, and it was quite an amazing thing. So we were there and we played one acoustic song, and they were happy.
With eyes of fire, we stand in line to the final destination, condemned to pay the price of life without further explanation. Through the eyes of a wolf, we have lived in vain. The struggle is now over.
It was really nice, even to play for non-metal fans and not non-metal people.
I discovered the band with Virtual World, and I would like to ask you, what are the main difference between Biomechanical and a Virtual World?
I think Biomechanicals was a darker album, from the beginning when I wrote Heroes in Time. That album was quite a happy and positive vibe on it. Biomechanicals, I went a little bit darker, both in lyrics and in sound, and I thought that, we're in the middle of a pandemic and all of that. People needs some uplifting, positive vibes. So I thought, why not do both of those first records, mix them into the third one. So it's both very uplifting songs and but also harder guitar riffs and all of that. So it's kind of a mix of those two first albums.
Yes, I read that you are the producer.
Yeah.
And for example, to produce your own band is difficult?
I think it's very nice to do it because you get the sound that you want, and together with Jacob Hansen, who did the mix and the mastering of the album, he get my ideas. I'm telling him how I want it to sound like and how it all the levels and all the mixing and all that, and he does his magic, and it's quite really great to have him on board the Metalite crew. So we work together very well.
But I ask you because, for example, when we read about producers, some of them, when they are producing, they tell the band, please, we are going to change this chord, we are going to do this part longer or shorter. And in your case, you are the guitar player, and maybe you write some parts of the music, and when you are producing, you decide to make it shorter and longer or add a choir or something.
Yeah, I'm the writer of the music and the lyrics, and I produce it. And of course, when we record all the stuff, the band members are taking their advantage of it too, to just do it their way. And Erica, we work together very well too, in the studio when we record. So we do a lot of stuff on the fly when we record. So. But I'm always there and tell her, can you do this? Can you do that, and here, and take that vocal here and that ad lib there. And she's so nice because she can always do as I tell her to do. So that's quite nice for a producer to have that kind of person that do exactly what you want.
So I imagine myself you telling Robert and Leah how to work.
I do the pre-demos and pre-recordings by myself, and tell them this is this song, and can you do like this here and that, and when we record it's just perfect.
Yes. The other part is the use of electronic elements.
Yeah.
And I read that you want to be different. How different does your band want to be?
I don't think about it that much, but after 3 albums, I think the Metalite sound is different if you compare to other metal bands out there. I wanted to be different from the beginning. Now we're just Metalite, and most of the people know us as a band that do our thing. So from the beginning, I thought about it very much, but not nowadays, because we have set our sound to all the people and fans and metal guys out there. So
For example, when you receive feedback from the fans, what kind of audience is the most reactive to your music?
yeah, I think in the medium age, most of it is from the middle age, like 30 to 40, 50 years old. Older metal people too much in the classic heavy metal stuff, and it's kind of hard for them to listen to the modern metal, with all the keyboards and this kind of producing that we're doing. Jacob Hansen is a very modern producer. He uses a lot of techniques to do what that he does. So I think it's kind of hard for the classic metal heads to like our music. We have some fans over there too. But the real thing for me is to be a bridge, between the pop and the metal scenes. If we can gather some fans from the pop to the metal and from metal to pop, that's our main goal, to be exposed to the broader audience.
You told me something that I agree. Jacob Hansen is a very modern producer. So
Yeah.
now that you and he work together, how can you describe his kind of work? He always do his job, but the band sounds different.
Yeah, and that's because he's a good technical engineer, and he does his magic, and I don't understand it either. But he has mixed and master and produced so many bands, and it sounds different, and but that's his job, and he's very, very good at it.
I saw the Metalite videos from this CD, and I want to ask you a question that to you will be very difficult, Edwin. Very difficult. But maybe you know the answer. Tell me, how can Leah maintain her glasses on when she plays the drum?
Yeah, I know. I've got this question. I think she got it too. But I think she's very comfortable with her glasses. One time when at a show, she had to take them off because it was so sweaty and the hair was so wet and very warm. To have this show, and that's one time when she took off her glasses. But I don't know. She maybe feel more comfortable in the glasses. Let her have them.
For a moment, I thought that she tied her glasses with a plastic rope.
She doesn't.
No.
She doesn't. She only had her in-ear monitoring, and she doing like this. But the glasses are like usual. They are on as usual.
Let me confess you that to me, Leah is a very interesting musician. She plays freelance, and from time to time, for example, it's difficult to match her job with the work in Metalite.
Everyone in the band has their own jobs, full-time jobs, and with this pandemic and all things, has been, we don't have any shows, and we had just recorded this album, and to do something with Metalite, we all have those full-time job, family, and stuff like that. It's always hard to have a band and to mix it with ordinary life.
I would like to ask you about Erica. How did you find her?
Actually, I was on a show there here in Stockholm. There, it was a rock show, and I have dinner with the boys out that night, and the rock show, we look at it, and it was Erica performing on that stage that night. At that time, we didn't looking for a singer, but a half year later, when Emma left and all that, I just remember what I have seen on that rock show. So I contacted her, and she wanted to try to record some vocals for the older songs here in the studio. So yeah, it went really nice, and I'm so glad that I find her.
As you told me, it was easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, like she's very comfortable to work with and all of that. So yeah, it was perfect.
Something that I like it a lot is that Erica sound like a woman. And you will say, of course, she's a woman. No, some female singers sound like children.
Yeah, I know. The earlier bands in the female-fronted, metal scene, I think they are just too afraid to use their ordinary voice or something. I don't know, but the symphonic bands, they just like to want to do the opera thing and those lighter tones. And Erica does a great job to not do that part. just the perfect popish vocals, that's perfect for Metalite.
I think that you and your band are very optimistic. Do you think that you will play at Sweden Rock this year?
Sweden Rock is postponed. They told us the message, so that was sad. But we had it in our minds already that this festival ain't gonna happen. So we have this other festival in August, Sabaton Open Air here in Sweden. Too, and we have to prepare for that one instead.
The other thing that I read and to me was really good is that in September, if everything is okay, you will come to Spain, or it was postponed.
Yeah, I really hope that we can go to Spain in September. Saw something on the news that Spain is going to have this vaccine passport or something ready to June or the summer now, and we really hope that we can get the vaccine and just go.
I think that maybe in September you can come. And I saw that you have 4 dates: Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, and Vigo.
Yeah, that's correct.
Is this part of a bigger tour, or you just will come to Spain and come back?
Yeah, we just wanted to come to Spain. We had this new management that they booked the tours for us, and they asked us if we really want to go to Spain. We can go in September on these clubs and these venues, and we absolutely we will go. If we can go, we go.
Perfect.
But it's just this like mini tour. It's not part of any big one, so. It's just a Spain tour.
And this going to be the first time you will come to Spain. How do you feel about the concerts?
I feel it's going to be really nice. I've seen some bands that have played at the venues we are going to. So, and there's a lot of metalheads in Spain too. So I think it will be nice. We have seen a lot of promotion ads and stuff like that out on the social media, and so and people are really wanting us to go there. So this would be really fun for us and do those shows. Yeah, to meet the people and the fans we got in Spain, of course.
Of course. Have you get some feedback from the Spanish fans?
I have read, we have noticed on our social medias and platforms, and we have talked to a lot of Spain and people from Spain. They have buying merchandise on our merch shop on our homepage, and I've read a lot of reviews and stuff like that from the Spanish people, Spanish reviewers, and it's just awesome that there are so much people that are so into Metalite, and we love it.
I ask you this part because I want you that that here you are having support.
Yeah, I really want to say thank you for all support they're giving us at this time of the situation and pandemic and all and things like that. And we are so happy that we've been officially announced to go on those shows to Spain. And we really hope that we can get there too. And if you want to support the band, please do at our metalite.se and go to our web shop and buy maybe some cool merch and find an excellent vinyl from us. And it's the best way to support a band right now is to do that. So we love you all. Yes.
It was Tony Gonzalez from Made in Metal talking to Edwin Premberg from Metalite.
Stay safe and healthy now.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.